And for not vakti olmasın için. I think. Huh?
Yes.
For not lose time,
Yeah, sure.
please, I think you can start.
Yes, sure, doctor.
Sağollar birazlar, işçiler bu o'qituvchi sifatida bizlar buni ishga olish maqsadida intervyu qilyapmiz. Intervyu emas, master class qilyapmiz shu.
Doctor, can you be able to see my screen?
Yes, everybody well. We see very certainly very good.
Okay, right.
You can start. You can
Okay.
start, Mr.
Right. So, very good day to everybody present here. So, I am Dr. Christo Anand. I'm going to handle the topic on the webinar entitled Introduction to Information Technology in Bioinformatics and Genetics. So, this particular topic is especially for the young researchers and staff members of this university. So, I am Dr. Christo Anand for you, and you can always reach me at dr.christoanand@gmail.com. So, this is a short introduction about me. I have had 12 years of experience in teaching and research. I had earlier worked as an assistant professor in Francis Xavier Engineering College, India. Then went on to do my PhD. Worked as an associate professor in AMA International University, Bahrain, and right now serving as a professor of EC department at St. Mother Teresa Engineering College, India. So before beginning today's presentation, let me thank my God for giving me this golden opportunity to deliver this webinar to share my knowledge among my fellow national as well as international participants. And tribute to our rector, Professor Kalmuradov Rastam Ibrahim Mohit, who's the rector of this university. And tribute to our officials, Professor Salih Ahmed John, Professor Raxmanov Geminiso, Professor Raxmanov Geminiso Ulatovna, who have been the tribute for the officials of this university. Also, a special mention, Professor Yuldashev Shamsuddin Kiamideshav, Vice Rector on Financial Economic Affairs, Professor Nazirov Muxtov Gafarwij, Vice Rector for International Cooperation, and of course, Professor Akmal Ahdav, Head of the Department Natural Sciences. So before beginning today's presentation, once again I would like to thank my dear officials and the head of the department who understood the need to initiate fruitful outcome on teaching, learning and education. And thank you my dear colleagues and fellow participants who understood the necessity to support this webinar by your valuable presence. Without you, the event would not have been possible. So at a glance, we are going to go for a short introduction. Then we would go with the steps of a bioinformatics solution. Next, we go with the sequence analysis of DNA, different biological networks. Then we would go with the various tools of genetic technology. Then we would go with a short introduction about gel electrophoresis. We would go with the usage of bioinformatics in today's world. Next, we would go with the importance of genomes and proteomes, functions of proteomes, And most importantly, this is the most important part of today's webinar. It is the Uzbekistan Master Plan towards Natural Sciences according to UNESCO Science Report towards Vision Mission 2030. Future opportunities for US Uzbekistan cooperation in the natural and life sciences, opportunities for near end collaboration and long term collaboration, and finally the how we are going to go with the importance of technical events within our institution to achieve the mission. Finally, we are going to end with a short video about our future prospects in the field of bioinformatics and genetics in the for the future engineers of Uzbekistan and US government. Right. So we are going to begin with a short introduction. Of course, you know bioinformatics. It's a large area. It's a vast field. It's an interdisciplinary field where we have biology, we have genetics, we have computer science, we have mathematics, and we have statistics as well. Like in the case of bioinformatics, we would be largely dealing with genetic algorithms. We would be dealing with DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA, ribonucleic acid, mRNA, the messenger RNA sequences. So we are going to analyze a statistical evaluation of larger scale biological problems on a computational point of view. So we are not going to look onto macro analysis. We are going to go for a micro array data of analysis. We are going to collect this data and we are going to process it and we are going to statistically evaluate it. So if you analyze the bioinformatics solution, we are actually going to formulate modulation or maybe structural analysis of biological processes at very molecular level, and we are going to make the interferences from the collected data. Only if you try to analyze the collected data, if you are going to store the data as an array of matrices, then you can analyze and sequence the DNA sequences. So next we formulate the steps of a bioinformatics solution. Actually what you are going to do is from the biological data you are going to collect the statistics, and next we are going to build a large computational model, and after building the computational model you are going to split it into sequences. You are going to split it into fragments. You are going to solve this computational modeling problem. Next, you are going to test and evaluate this computational algorithm based on the sequence of steps. So this is actually the sequence analysis what I was trying to explain to you. So if you see in the diagram, it's an analysis of a DNA and protein sequences where you identify homologs. Homologs is nothing but a second generation gene which is coming from a common ancestral DNA sequence. So we are not going to analyze one single sequence alone, but you are going to analyze and elaborate and evaluate multiple sequences. Of course, you are going to go for searching the sequence pattern. Only then you can evaluate the matrices, and you are going to build the tree, the family tree from the common ancestral sequence. So you are going to go for the evolutionary analysis. Next, you are going to go for the protein structures. So it's actually a 3D data where you are going to analyze the primary, secondary, and tertiary analysis of protein structures. So if it concerns with the structural analysis of sequences, you are going to align it accordingly, and you are going to mark the functions of each and every sequence. So only if you try to analyze the sequence, you can better evaluate the mitochondrial part as well as the ribosomes that are associated with it. Now we are going to analyze the biological networks. As I have already mentioned to you, the expression data is analyzed as a matrices. So we are not going to go for a macro analysis, but we are going to go for a micro analysis where we have a collection of data, what you call it to be the statistical analysis. We are going to classify it accordingly and we are going to group it. We are going to go for a clustering based approach. As you can see in the diagram, everything is interconnected, like protein A connected to protein B connected to protein C, and protein C connected to protein D to protein E, protein T to protein F, to protein G, protein H, and protein I. So only if you try to analyze or maybe segment or maybe cluster this biological networks, you can identify different metabolic pathways. You can analyze the interaction between different protein to protein networks. So if you can analyze it as a graph or maybe a theoretical approach or even a practical based approach after the theoretical approach, definitely it will try to analyze and solve the associated problems for construction or maybe analysis of large scale networks. So now we are going to analyze the tools of genetic technology, like modern tools we are going to go for. Um, if you can analyze the tools, if they are actually derived from the molecular genetic, so we are going to analyze the gene structure, we are going to analyze the family tree, which is the parent one and which is the the children associated with it. We are going to associate and analyze the functions, and we are going to analyze the practical applications of biotechnology. Only after analysis of all these, we can come to a conclusion which tools are effective in the case of biotechnology and with the usage of genetic technology. So, with the case of different biotechnology projects that we use in Uzbekistan, normally it requires the use of restriction enzymes. Like we are going to split the DNA into different fragments at the specific places or maybe at the restriction sites. So, based on the use of the restriction enzymes, we are actually going to go for gel electrophoresis procedure. Of course, do you have any idea with regards to gel electrophoresis? Um, have you come across gel electrophoresis in recent times? Have you come across gel electrophoresis? So actually, like gel electrophoresis, it's nothing but the procedure where you can split it, the or maybe classify the DNA, RNA, and mRNA schemes. So DNA stands for deoxy ribonucleic acid, RNA stands for ribonucleic acid, and mRNA stands for messenger ribonucleic acid. Where we are going to classify it according to the molecular sizes. So, based on the separation of the resulting DNA fragments according to their size, we are going to use this gel electrophoresis in today's world. That is one specific topic which we are going to analyze. Actually, it's DNA fingerprinting. So, as you know, DNA fingerprinting in the crime scene, suppose if some person has committed crime, then what they will do? They will not allow, the police will not allow any person to touch the crime scene. So like a normal sellotape, they will try to attach this one in the crime scene. They will match the DNA pattern, like the fingerprint pattern, with the pattern of the other persons in the crime suspect, and if it matches, then definitely this person is going to be a crime suspect. So this is what we are going to do with DNA fingerprinting, which will be very useful in identifying the criminals. Also, with the case of several techniques for sequencing DNA, we are going to provide information on the variety of genes. So these genes, they come from a common ancestral family, and accordingly we are going to analyze the sequences. So this is actually the a schematic diagram where we are going to analyze the gel electrophoresis. So we have like a power supply, and that's connected to the electrophoresis tank where we have sample wells. We have the electrode associated on either sides. The direction of movement of the electrodes corresponding accordingly will definitely will try to analyze the sequences or maybe the DNA sequences that are associated with it. So this is actually the usage of bioinformatics in today's world. Actually, if you can analyze bioinformatics, it's nothing but a, a mixture of maybe the engineering, computer science, or maybe chemistry, biochemistry, mathematics, statistics, and biology, where we try to analyze larger amounts of data, like in a micro level analysis using this computer technology. Only if you try to analyze the DNA sequences properly, you can better evaluate the bioinformatics solution. Like we have several databases stored as servers where we try to analyze the specialized databases, and homologs, as I've already mentioned, it's a second level gene coming from a common ancestral family tree. You try to establish and analyze the evolutionary relationships, and you try to predict the gene function accurately. Only if you try to predict and analyze a gene function, you can better use the bioinformatics in today's research of Uzbekistan government. And this is the most important part, the genomes and proteomes. So as you know, genomes, it's nothing but a collection of generic information of bioorganisms, and proteomes, it stands for collection of the protein materials. So if you can analyze of today's human living species, it has been formed, during 3.5 billion years of evolution, and currently several research scientists are focusing towards genomes in future career. If you can analyze the eukaryotic cells, they carry the small amount of extra nuclear DNA within mitochondria and chloroplast. So these are essential for the color pigments that are present in the organelle proteins. Also, with the case of mitochondrial DNA, which is nothing but the ribosomes which are present in the mitochondria, they are going to construct the phylogenetic trees, nothing but a relationship or maybe a link between the generic information in order to trace the the ancestral human tree. And so these are the functions of proteomes. We have the genome, which we have established with DNA, and transcriptome. So transcriptome is nothing but the classification of DNA, RNA, or maybe the messenger RNA schemes with the RNA. And we have the proteome, where we collect the protein information, and metabolome, it's nothing but the the collection of the smaller level molecular chemicals. So we have like different structures like sugars or maybe nucleotides or maybe amino acids or lipids. So generally they are used for the classification of metabolites for the metabolism functions. So this is actually the region of interest what I was trying to discuss in today's webinar. Actually, we researchers, we faculty members have to work together for this, the government's master plan towards natural sciences. According to UNESCO Science Report towards Mission 2030, innovation plays a vital role in democratizing society in Uzbekistan. Actually, we are going to analyze the social problem as well as the economic problem, and based on the requirements of the research in today's scenario of Uzbekistan, we are going to go for economic competitiveness. We are not only going to develop a research solution, but we are going to think it in a economic and social way. So earlier in 2015, a draft bill was set up by the Uzbekistan government to create an effective mechanism for testing, deployment, and commercial development of scientific work. Of course, the our university is developing creative programs every now and then. For example, we have like creative programs for arts, for drawing, or maybe for sports as well. Of course, we have to concentrate on the life sciences and natural sciences as well. So it also outlines the additional incentives and rewards for enterprises. We are going to give the research grants for innovative research works and to develop the innovative projects as well in the high tech industries of Uzbekistan. And also Uzbekistan master plan, if we go into the second and the third research priorities, it is nothing but the energy saving or maybe the resource saving. So of course our faculty members or researchers can develop an innovative solution, but we are more concerned with the saving the energy and the resource means as well. We are more particular on the development of renewable energy, and as of March 2013, two research institutes were created by the presidential decree to foster the development of alternate energy sources with the funding of the Asian Development Bank and other institutions. So, our Uzbekistan government is more particular with the development of alternate energy sources in a socio-economic manner. And if you can concentrate on the future opportunities for the US Uzbekistan cooperation in the natural and life sciences, there were two types of collaboration. One is the near end collaboration, and another one is the long term collaboration. If you can analyze a near term collaboration, we are going to build a knowledgeable base. We are going to make a capable workforce to meet our Uzbekistan mission to develop genomics, proteomics, as well as the bioinformatics capabilities for research areas. If you can analyze for the cotton research and sustainable development in the cotton genomics as well. It is for this scenario there are two scholarships that are available, or maybe fellowships that are available. One is the Fulbright fellowship, which normally the researchers can concentrate to attract the research grants, which opens the existing programs to the Uzbekistan scientists. Also, there is another fellowship. We have the Warlock Fellowship for new exchange programs for innovation and socio-economic development. Also, for long-term collaboration, it's expanding the genomics-based research efforts to prioritize the crops, the food crops in both the countries. With the case of the natural sciences, we are going to also develop irrigation based systems, and we are going to go for soil salinizations to better preserve the soil and to improve the agronomic practices as well. Very recently I have published a research paper where we have analyzed the medical image processing, in the agricultural as well as the life sciences department as well, and expanding the set of experimental tools which the US as well as the Uzbekistan scientists could better use to enhance their research efforts. Also, with the developing of bioinformatics capacity, knowledgeable workforce, we are going to address the global challenges which could adversely affect the agriculture and the environment as well. Actually, Uzbekistan government is more particular about preserving the biodiversity, which is the major concern of the nation. Also, with the case of crop production, the government is taking effective measures for examining and analyzing the environment protection and evaluating constantly day by day with the environmental changes, including reduced use of water and availability, and thereby which makes a positive impact on the crop production as well. And finally, we are going to analyze and study the microbial forensics. We are going to go for the industrial and semi-industrial processes as well, so that we try to translate the scientific results into commercially easily available products for the people. What we are going to do is we are going to make these commercial products easily available to the poor people as well, so that they become handy in use. Also, we are going to create a multi-institute Uzbekistan collaborative program where we are going to analyze the capacities and skills of today's researchers in the field of plant pathology, or maybe genomics, or maybe disease resistance, agrotechnology, and irrigation methods as well. So this is what we are going to do. Actually, we researchers have to concentrate on these particular topics. Actually, I as a researcher, I as a faculty member have concentrated on these areas. I'm going to briefly discuss about this particular topic. I'm sorry, I'm going to take much of your time, because this one is very important in today's scenario. For example, the university is currently doing a very good work with creative programs, whether it may be sports sciences, or maybe wrestling as well. With the case of drawing as well, we have been doing a good work. But with the case of life sciences and natural sciences, we have to constantly do some creative programs where students has to participate, students has to constantly involve in competitions. For example, the cheapest way to gain popularity for our university is conducting IEEE robotics competition, where students try to participate in competition, and they definitely will get prizes and cash prizes out of it, where the university can definitely make a mark using this creative programs, and making the students participate in national, regional, local, as well as international competitions. Of course, the university is doing a good work with startups. We have to elaborate the socio-economic startups. Definitely it will benefit the student community as well as the poor people of Uzbekistan. Of course, we are going to go for collaboration programs. The local institute we can collaborate, the regional institute we can collaborate, national institute we can collaborate, or maybe international level institutions we can collaborate, so that we try to share the knowledge base in a wide area. Definitely it will be a the greater mark with regards to our university. For going with MOU signing, I'm talking about this fourth point, MOU signing. Before going into MOU signing, we have to go for local, regional, national, and international benchmark. So only if you try to analyze the curriculum programs of our university with other competitive, higher standard educational institutions, then we can analyze the interest of the industrial needs of the students, and we can develop programs for our institution. And after analyzing the needs, we have to sign MOU with the higher level educational institutions. So for that, we have to go with the accreditation, higher level accreditation, maybe like NBA or maybe ABET. ABET stands for Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology. So we have to build the quality assurance for this case for better MOU signing with the higher order institutions. Of course, the university is doing a great work with the webinars, faculty development programs, or maybe workshops or refreshment courses. They have to be conducted in the beginning of the semester or trimester. So, definitely it will make a positive impact, and definitely we faculty members can collaborate together to make the knowledge sharing based and effective one. Of course, our faculty members are regularly involved in the conferences, or maybe journals, national, international journals, as well. They will be publishing in a normal journal, a regional or maybe local or international journals. But we are not concentrating on patents. Patents is some patent. Have you heard about patents? I just want to make an open question to you. Have you heard about patents? Have you heard about patents? Actually, patent is something like a product which we can develop for a international use. Like I have like 8 patents to my credit, out of which 4 have been internationally granted with patent number. So if you can showcase the patent in our university website, definitely it will attract more research funds or maybe grants from the government and for the international government as well. We are not concentrating on newspaper articles. Of course, our faculty members can concentrate on newspaper articles, we can concentrate on magazine articles where we try to showcase the research. We can concentrate on interdisciplinary collaborative research. For example, if you are good in genomics and I am good at proteomics, then definitely we together can make a common research paper, and definitely we can build a socio-economic solution. Also, the other thing we have to concentrate is the community engagement activities. Like in the university, like we have like different functions. Like for example, Ramadan, or maybe any special functions like the Muharram, so special functions where we can give the food to the needy people. Also, we can go for the beach cleaning activities as well. We have to elaborate this activity in a regional, national and international fashion. For example, we can go to US, or maybe we can go to London, we can go to Canada, or maybe we can go to New Zealand as well, to study the community engagement activities for our students, and we can spend some time where we can develop the community engagement activities. So this one, not only with the life sciences, not only with the natural sciences, we have to establish in a social point of view as well. As I have already mentioned with the case of benchmarking, uh, we have to go with the curriculum enhancement programs as well for the case of local, regional, national and international benchmarking as well. Only then we can sign MOU with the organizations. And with the case of the students, when they are going to complete their each semester, we can go with the open-ended projects. After each semester, for the case of each subjects, we can go with open-ended project. We should develop this scenario so that they come out with a better project with the development of the research work for the mankind. And we faculty members have to concentrate on research grants as well, so that it brings more fund for the university, and definitely it will make more collaborations in the future. So I'm going to end um, today's presentation with a short message. Only if you try to showcase that you have several elements in your CV, only then you can actually attract researchers or maybe collaborators or maybe research funds from the government as well as the international collaboration as well. So that's the reason I developed my own website, www.christoanand.com. I have showcased several talents. So only if you try to showcase your talents, only then people will try to have more trust in your research and will definitely collaborate with you. And this is one of my most important taglines of my career. Don't expect others to do all the work. I have to say to myself that I have to initiate. I am responsible. I am the sole one, and I have to give promotion. So I have to say to myself, I am entirely responsible for what the things I am going to do. And finally, this is a very the funny image, which I always keep it in mind. Never ever give up at any point in your life. So even if the crane catches you, catch hold of them. And finally, I would like to say a big thank you for your kind patience. Let's start working even in the field of genomics or maybe proteomics. Definitely, it will make a positive impact with in alignment with the government as well as the nation's needs towards research scientific development.